What is going on YouTube and Spotify? This is the Just BSN podcast, and today I have with me, as always, my boy Andrew and a very special guest, a guy that we've had on this show before about a year ago to the day, Mr. Sean Fitzgerald. Sean, it's great to have you back on the show. Last time we got to talk basically about everything, and we probably won't get to everything this time, but he's a huge baseball guy, so we will obviously get into some guards, but we also have the Cavs who, as we all see, moved on. They survived game 7 after blowing game 6 the way that they did, coming out as just lackadaisical as they did. I mean, I was so shocked at how not fired up they were, and I almost do wonder if a stomach bug was a part of the deal, because we heard that the locker room got infested with some sort of stomach bug. So maybe we can use that as an excuse, but regardless, game 7, they came out and did exactly what they should have done in game 6, which was slaughter them.
They've done that in 2 different game 7s this playoff season. So it's like, and as we were talking before we went live, it's like, should we just hope for game 7s in the ECF? And if you were to beat the Knicks, who are your opponent tonight, spoilers if you haven't been checking on your sports stuff, or even against a potential finals opponent with OKC and or San Antonio, the winner of that West Conference final.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be insane. We will get all into this beautiful matchup, because I have a lot to say about the way that I think the Cavs can really attack the Knicks in the way that they have in the past. It kind of getting over that last hump, because, you know, as we all saw in 2023, like, the Knicks were the one that just cleaned us out. I mean, they whooped us so badly. My butt still hurts from that ass whooping back in 23, because they did. I mean, the only game that I went to was game 2, which of course was the game that we won, thankfully. But every other game was it was awful, and that's when that narrative of the Cavs are soft, the lights are too bright meme, like, all of that came in from there. So it's kind of cool to be able to really have it go full circle. And now we're at the Eastern Conference Finals with the Knicks, and we have a different team. And this is, I mean, obviously we're here, but this truly is the best Cavs team that we've had in the post-LeBron era. And it's really, really exciting. And they're obviously not perfect. They've had a lot of downs, but when they are on, this Cavs team is a very hard team to beat, especially when their defense is able to actually fluidly work and not get caught with this weird switching that they would do in the regular season that would just create so many mismatches and just leave a bunch of guys wide open. The Cavs have found a way to get rid of that and just get back to basics and be able to turn their defense into offense, which is always where this team has been able to prevail. So what was the feeling like, I guess, from you two after game 7? Because I mean, dude, my jaw was basically on the floor. I was like, how are we doing this? I mean, where did this team come from?
Exactly. Just stole the words right out of my mouth. But also, I'm like, can we stop with the stanky leg, Harden? I have had enough of that, no matter who it was, in what era. It's like, just stop. Pass the ball.
Just make a 3 at least. My goodness.
No, pass the ball. Just stop the stanky leg. LeBron did it. As much as I love LeBron, like, you don't do that. Like, you do stanky leg, it doesn't end well. It never does.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
on occasion, but it's like,
no, it's funny too, because he wastes like 6-7 seconds trying to do that stuff too, and it's like, dude, come on, we're wasting so much time off this clock. Like, stop doing this stanky. Like,
just when you're down or you're in a little bit of a rut, it's like, come on, like, just move ball. Just stop with this whole, like, oh, I'm gonna sit here.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
and then you get trapped.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's what we looked better in during game 7 too. Is we looked like we were moving the ball a little bit better and a little bit more free. And I think that's one thing we haven't done in both series against Toronto and a lot of the Detroit series. We weren't moving the ball around, and you know, the other big thing is we were, you know, making our open looks. We were getting open. We were actually making shots. And again, that was the biggest struggle this postseason, was we couldn't make a thing. So what do? You attack the paint, and they finally realized that halfway through the Toronto series, if you attack the paint, oh my God, good things happen. You get to the line, you get free throws, you can make layups. So, I think it took a minute, but these guys figure some things out. And like Zach talked about before, I think we match up very well with the Knicks. I think Jared Allen is a different version of himself from 2 years ago. And I mean, we all know what Dean Wade could do against Jalen Brunson on defense, because it seems like Jalen Brunson hates Dean Wade.
You gotta have a way to work in Strus into that lineup. And
absolutely.
You might have to sacrifice some of Harden at times, but I think Strus is Strus is going to be your literal X factor if you can make it past the Knicks. And you've seen why. He's come back just like almost every shot it hits, it feels like he just sinks it.
Yeah.
With Strus there, I mean, like that would be encouraging if he can get, let's say even just 15 points a night off of 5 of 6 or 4 of 7 shooting at worst.
Yeah, that's production.
Like that would help me just ease the nerves a little, but I'm not as, optimistic, just because it took getting under JB Bickerstaff's skin to get him to melt down. In order to win that series against Detroit, you had to win 4 of the last 5. So it's just like I'm a little bit more like, this is icing on the cake at this point. It's like, hopefully we can go further, but this team just needs to play like they did in Game 7 both times against the Raptors and the Pistons, especially if they're going to have any hope of getting to the finals. And that's where, whether or not, with the matchup with Brunson and Wade, whether or not you're on the other side where people are going to, try to have Mobley or Allen pulled out of the paint and trying to guard Karl Anthony Towns. That's where a lot of this is going to hinge on, is those couple of key matchups, and whether or not Donovan Mitchell, I'm not saying this is a joke, by the way, but he does like to play often in New York, at Madison Square Garden. So having that in his back pocket, will he be able to have that kind of regular season success in that postseason environment, especially given how probably bloodthirsty the Knicks fans are feeling right now after seeing Halliburton go down last year?
I mean, I think the one positive, and especially coming out of Game 7, that was like one of the best versions, if not the best version of Donovan that I've ever seen. Just how composed he looked throughout the entire game. He just didn't look fluttered. And he has throughout the playoffs, like with Toronto, and even at the beginning of the series against Detroit. He looked flustered. Like, he looked not quite as confident. His shot wasn't really falling, and he wasn't really being able to drive to the rim. And he finally realized that, like, hey, I can use my ability to get to the lane to also feed the bigs, and that will open stuff up for me later on into the game, because then now they have to look at, oh, what's Ev going to do? Or, hey, what's JA going to do? And then you just continue to kind of feed everybody. And that's when the Cavs are at their best, is when they're able to flow and keep everybody involved and not play the iso ball. And that's been the thing that has hurt the Cavs each time, as well as the turnovers. I mean, listen, you're going to turn the ball over 18 plus times, you're going to lose a game. I don't care how good your backcourt is. I don't care how good of scores you have. If you were turning the ball over at that kind of rate, you're going to lose a game. So when the Cavs have been able to actually protect the ball, they've done a better job towards the end of last series of not turning the ball over 16 plus times. It usually weighs in a little more success. And so I think for the Cavs, they just have to come out composed. They have to come out understanding that the Knicks are going to come out firing. They've been off for the last week or so, like 10 days now.
They swept in 4.
And the Knicks have had the easiest road. I'm sorry. Like, that's the first point that I'm going to make here, is the Knicks have had the easiest road by far. Yes, the Hawks were a pretty solid team.
One could have seen that coming with Boston.
No,
not at all.
But, Tatum going out hurts them, obviously. And then whatever Game 7 lineup that they threw out, which still makes me sick to my stomach to this day, I would be punching the air still as a Boston fan if I continued to see a lineup like that.
They're
in Game
all
7.
They have
6
Super Bowls, 3 or 4 World Series, 2 NBA Finals, at least a Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
you don't need to pity them.
Exactly. Listen, I hate Boston fans.
Share the wealth, people.
Yeah.
Come on. Share the wealth. We've only had one in the last 50 plus years.
Yeah.
Nearly what? Almost 60 at this point, if not over 60. It's like, come on, give us some more.
Yeah. I mean, between Boston and even like Eagles fans and stuff, I can't stand them.
Eagles fans
I can't stand them.
Tolerable. It's more like the Philly media just seems to want to create chaos rather than that's not there rather than anything that's actually going on in the building. It's like there's stuff that I feel like is just purely manufactured, and it just ends up putting a wedge between people. It's like, you're not firing Nick Sirianni. I still feel like it would be a mistake if they do end up trying to trade AJ Brown. I honestly think they might find a way to keep him. Because all that shit was just manufactured. You cannot tell me that there was any genuineness to it.
Yeah. But to get back to the Cavs, though, I mean, they have a very good opportunity here. And yes, the Knicks are the best team in the East at this point. They have been. I get that, but I think the Cavs they've had a different mentality, and they've finally gotten over that hump and kind of gotten rid of that stigma of being a soft team. When we tied the series up 2-2 with Toronto, me and Drew were on here like, this team is still soft. Like, they still haven't learned. And they fought back. They battled back. They obviously won Game 5. They should have won Game 6 with how that ended. That was ridiculous. But besides that, the point, they come out in Game 7, obviously win it, and then do this pretty much a flipped thing that Detroit just did. And it's been a good ride so far. So, like, even if, let's say, you lose in 6 or 7 games, I think that's still a successful season when you look at where we've been and where we can go.
Sweep, it just depends on how competitive it is.
Exactly. If it's within a 10-point game every game, then okay, you can see that. Or if it's like, hey, you lose a game where it's like you're in overtime, like how the Spurs won last night, like a double overtime game at that point, anybody wins that game. Anybody wins that game. And Wemby had, I mean, you guys saw the stats. That dude had 41 points and 24 rebounds. Dude is absolutely.
How do you stop that?
He's a 7'5" Kevin Durant, dude. Like, it's incredible.
Can we at least make sure he works on his leg day?
Right. For real. Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing that scares me.
Any NBA players listen out there, I love for you not just to me on Twitter, aka at Fits on Sports BSR, but to these guys. Tell us why you were not working on, the lower half, because all these Achilles injuries, lower leg injuries, it's like, these are preventable if you're able to train the entire body. Like, I want to hear what the, NBA players are thinking. Like, where is that lower body training to, try and muscle up a little bit?
I mean, especially with how explosive like NBA players have to be, you would think that they would kind of emphasize that a little more, but it really doesn't seem like it's a lot more like, I don't know, conditioning, and that's basically like all they really do. And it's like, listen, I get it, but you do need to, like, Evan Mobley, he could really use some, like, a really good off season where he's putting on a little bit more weight, but he's doing squats, he's doing some deadlifts, he's working on his lower body, because that's when he can win better matchups against a guy like a Jalen Duren, where you're not getting bodied every single time he backs you down deep in the post. Like, him being able to actually defend that is where Ev and even JA could really make for like a very tough go. And they already are great on the end of the floor, but if they can add that to their arsenal and then they can get a little bit stronger on the lower end, they will be very, very, very tough in the paint, as they are already with their length. But yeah, Drew, you have not been able to chime in because we're both kind of going in. But yeah, man, just like kind of just go through, I guess, just kind of the thoughts and your feelings on just how Game 7 went, because this was an insane game.
I mean, I was just as shocked as anybody, because, again, who would have predicted basically a near 30-point blowout during the game? And, this is the way we've been wanting to see the Cavs for the majority of the season, not even just the playoffs, but just the season itself, was this team that can fly through and beat teams with almost relative ease. And we all knew that the Pistons were basically those fraudulent 1 seed. They they got lucky in the Orlando series. Franz Wagner went down, and that's when the series turned for them. And then
Orlando was a far better team than we give them credit for.
Orlando's a lot better than what we give
I
them credit
think they
for.
could have beat Cleveland if they ended up mad.
We
Agreed.
both said that too.
We both said that too.
We both said that.
We said we probably would have lost if it was Orlando.
They just always play us tough.
They do. And again, both play with hard physicality. Detroit just has no shot makers outside of Cade and really Tobias. So they need shot makers. And I'm sure they're going to be a little hesitant on giving Jalen Duren that max because he was horrible in the playoffs. He was really bad.
I'm trying to remember here. Remind me, because I might have a funny media story if this is right. Tobias was flipped over to Philadelphia right before COVID hit. Am I correct in that?
Yeah,
he was
at Philadelphia at some point.
Okay, but here's what I remember.
Then he was in Detroit too.
Yeah.
So there was a debate in front of me. It was, I think, before a John Beeline presser, pre-shutdown and all that. I don't remember the two guys who were in front of me, but there are people who you'd probably see at the arena, on a frequent basis at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And they were getting into it about, Harris, and like whether he'd be, a second option or a third option on a championship team. And I'm just looking back and forth. I'm just like, oh. And it looks like, about 6 years later or something like that, it looks like we have our answer. And I'd say probably not.
No. I mean, he quite literally dutied down his leg in this game. Like game 7, he couldn't even make bunnies. Like he was literally 5 feet from around the rim and he wasn't making anything. He couldn't even make a free throw at one point. Like, it was really rough for him that game.
Yeah.
Well, didn't he have no field goals and all of his points? Game 7 came from the line, didn't it?
Pretty sure.
Or at least that's what I saw.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So I mean, again, outside of Cade, that team can't rely on Cade to score 40 a night to uplift them. And don't get me wrong,
he's not that type.
And their defense is really, really good. They just, I think you can't, and I'm sure JB finally realized this, you can't rely on just scoring off of turnovers. You actually have to go and make shots. And I think what a lot of Detroit fans were upset about was the fact that we got more free throws. Well, when Cade, all his move is doing a step back, shot from the free throw line, you're not going to get too many free throws. So, and they said the same thing about us, but it's like at least our guys are driving to the basket. And you're foul. We have two big men who get fouled constantly from going up and getting offensive rebounds and putbacks and whatnot. So I don't want to hear nothing about the free throw disparity when you've been the most foul committed team in the NBA.
1,600 fouls they had this year in just the regular season. That does not include the playoffs. God knows how many they were in this playoff series.
No, they averaged 23 a game, and it was the same in the postseason. Someone said it was like 22.7. They averaged 23 flat in the regular season. So they committed the most fouls in the NBA. So this is a team that does foul quite a bit, and you can't blame the rest when you're the team that fouls all the time and fouls a lot.
Yeah,
that's more of a you problem than a referee problem.
Hello, Oklahoma City.
I know. Right. Yeah, right. Then we gotta get to the flopping problem in OKC.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Flop on that 1-3 attempt. I'm forgetting if it was 5, 6, or 7 in this last series. Like, what the hell? Like, is he still doing the flop master crap?
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah.
It's like, hey, it works sometimes.
I mean, there were some with Harden that that was like, okay, like I don't know. There were some that they didn't even call, like especially on the threes. I think that's the one where he usually gets the most. And there's a few times throughout this entire playoff run where he almost gets like straight up shoulder checked off that, and they don't call it. So it's like it's not like it gets called every single time. It's just Harden's been in this game for so long that he kind of understands, and it's something that guys would do in street ball or even just out back is like if somebody's starting to reach in, just go up and then you'll just have them slap your arm and then you're getting an easy foul call and then you can get free throws, and that's how shooters can get themselves involved in a game. I mean that can literally be the difference between somebody getting hot or not. So did we hate it as fans for so many years? Abso-freaking-lutely. But he's on our team now, and as much as you have hated it,
It's
He's
more
a
like
Cav.
I am worried about after the postseason run, and I'll explain for a quick second, and
Yeah.
I'll let Drew chime in because I know he had some words for me for sure. Is when after Houston came out of the rebuild finally. Basically, anytime James Harden has spent more than half a season, so yes, Brooklyn counts.
Yep.
Anytime he spent more than half a season somewhere else, right after they're going into a rebuild. And that's been my one worry. It's like, okay, this postseason, free money. After that, it's like, okay, panic meter goes right back up through the roof. So it's like, that's where I'm a little concerned is like, how well do you do in this series? And do you, again, he's going to be what, 36, 37? It's like, or
He's
he's always
30.
Yeah.
He's 36. Yeah.
like, how long of a deal do you give that man? It's like, because
He's. I was seeing ESPN
you're
reported
limited in
yesterday.
a number of years because of I forget what.
Yeah, they said it would be like a 2 max or whatever.
Yeah, it's like if it's that, I can deal with it. But it's like if you try to go to 3, which I think might be a possibility, you're not going to sell me on 3 years.
No, I think they said they're going to sell him 2 max for James Harden. At least that's what ESPN Cleveland reported.
I mean, that's about the window that you have anyway.
Yeah, it's 2 years.
But at least now being here, and let's see how this this Eastern Conference Finals goes. But like this whole talk about having to trade Ev for Giannis is like now that's not as prevalent or as I guess talked about because Ev is making some strides. Like Ev has had a really good playoff series.
Like if you're gonna trade Evan, like I don't think you're gonna. There's something about Giannis that's starting to worry me. I don't know what it is. It's a gut hunch
weird
thing. It's
ego thing. Yeah.
It's not even ego. It's just like I'm afraid he's about to have a whole injury slide, and I don't know why. And when I get these hunches, you boys know, not always, but a good chunk of the time.
There's a reason for it.
I don't know. It's just like again, no sources like this. I don't.
Right.
I don't have any sources up in Milwaukee right now that could give me any inside tea on all of this. But I'm just like, oh, dude, like.
I mean,
something feels wrong up there.
How would it feel to have a lineup of James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James, Giannis, and JA?
I'd still wonder if LeBron takes the route of retirement. Look, if you want to be better than Jordan in a way, you take the retirement and you don't come back. Right. Period. He has defied Father Time. And even Tom Brady was able to do that to an extent. How much longer can he do that? And that's the main thing he has to ask himself.
Well, I've always
the emotionalness of coming back to Cleveland this year. I just can't imagine him coming back that easily for a 24th.
I always said this. If he were to come back, it could be more so the same role that he has as James Harden, where he kind of focuses more as like a facilitator type and, facilitates Allen and Mitchell and Giannis. If Giannis were to come in, that's what the role would be is, hey, get up and facilitate, get back and play some decent defense, get some rebounds. I'm not going to ask you to, take over a basketball game.
Right.
Mitchell could do that. Mitchell's young enough. He could take over a game. Giannis could take over a game. JA could take a game. We're not asking you to be the hero that you were. We're just asking you to be LeBron James. Give us that high IQ basketball, draw up some plays, move the ball around, put people in the right spots. We're just asking you just to sit back, not have to score 25 a night, just facilitate and be the guy who calls things out as you see it. Be the IQ guy, be the secondary coach, be the voice in the locker room. That's all you're here for. You're not here to be the hero and save us in the game 7 and drop 50. We don't need you to do that anymore. So I wouldn't mind taking him in that kind of role.
Yeah, exactly. And that would be in an ideal world. That would be the way you'd go about it.
Yeah. And you do it on the vet minimum too.
I mean, you have to here.
And I did see a report somewhere that he would take him and the Cavs were in talks about a vet minimum coming back. So
I mean, I've seen a report today that said he won't. So I don't.
Yeah,
I really don't know.
It's gonna be ultimately it's just what he decides at the end of the day. It's
Yeah, I mean, he deserves the right to go out on his way, and whether
for
it's now
sure.
or later, it's like but if I'm him, if you want to avoid any stain that Jordan had with his Wizards time, it's like this is it. This is your time.
I think after that last Bulls championship, I think that's when Jordan should have retired again.
Yeah, but he just decided, and I can't blame some guys. It's like they can't live without the competitive juice. I mean, to me, I feel like I'm still a little bit the same way. But that aside, I mean, like it's something that's hard to give up on because you just rely on it. It's like not like a dopamine hit. I'm trying to think of a better
I
way to
mean,
phrase it, but
I will say, you know, if LeBron were to come back in a sense, like wouldn't it? And I've had this thought for a while. Obviously, I mentioned it to Zach. I've mentioned it to so many people. Wouldn't it make sense to with the declining of Dan Gilbert's health, maybe in his contract, you bring him on a vet minimum for one last year, and you put into his contract something along the lines of, listen, when I retire, when Dan Gilbert leaves, whatever, he starts. It's like a David Blitzer thing where he gets
I don't think the NBA is going to allow that. I think
You
they've
sure?
put the kibosh on that. If I'm not mistaken, they will put the kibosh on that. You cannot have that wink, wink, nudge, nudge agreement. Otherwise, I know Carlos Boozer is not a 1-for-1, but you cannot have that happening. You can't. And I think LeBron's already stated, it'd be probably like, have a franchise in Vegas, like when that gets started up there. I mean, he'd have the wherewithal, even if it wouldn't be the full on, I'll be able to afford all the entire price tag. Well, at least be able to front a group with several prominent investors.
Yeah.
I mean, especially as you brought up David Blitzer, the Cleveland Guardians are being sold. David Blitzer will be able to exercise the option in the winter of 2027. But before that, there's this season, and then there was Drew, you and I seeing Chas Bazana hit his first big league home run against the Twins.
Absolutely.
And now he just hit one on the road. Yep.
He hit one tonight.
Yep.
What a smooth transition to the baseball.
I mean,
Hey,
yeah. I mean, yeah. We might as well
got
get
me
into some
here.
baseball. Listen, we might as well get into some baseball. We've talked enough about Caps.
Just through like his home run at bat, and I was just looking at this stat. I'm like, holy crap! Last 17 games, so basically just all of May that he's played. It looks like 322 BA, 444 on base percentage.
Whew.
You know how good that is?
That's elite level stuff right there.
That is like league leading elite.
That's a league leading. Yeah,
runs,
that's elite.
9 runs batted in, 7 of 8 at least on the base paths and stolen bases.
And by the way, he's
Holy
on the
crap.
same exact team as CDL is too. Just point that out there.
I know.
I mean,
and they finally got the protection to give Jose, the little bump up to the 2 spot. And you're starting to see some of the offense click. It's like I've always preferred Jose in the 3 spot, but that's because you didn't have those kinds of guys like Bazana. Yeah. Hopefully he'll be up in the leadoff spot, sooner or later. But even if it's not this year, I mean,
I don't know. Martinez has been. I mean, dude, Martinez as the leadoff has been solid.
They're tied right now. I think who was it that just tied up the game on Detroit's side in the.
It was a bad throw by Austin Hedges trying to pick someone off at first, and then Riley Green scored from second.
Yeah, I mean, but it happens. But I mean, like Detroit's obviously been a little bit, out of sorts this year.
Yeah.
Cleveland only has 2 hits right now to Detroit's 4. But to get to the point, I mean, for all the batting average truthers who I am not one of you, I love my batting averages, but it's not the end all be all. 292. Yes. 292. You guys want to shut up now about the batting average?
Give me OPS, baby. I love the OPS.
I know. That's exactly what I'm saying, baby. Like he's even if again, every time he hits a non-single, that slug's going to go up, and that's only going to make that, combine that plus he's getting on base. It's like,
oh yeah.
that's only going to make things look even better. And you've got a prospect glut where maybe there's a chance you could pull a blockbuster this summer, but I don't know who you'd ID as a trade target, because I certainly don't think you're going to trade with Detroit for Scooble. You're not. Because you're going to empower your divisional arch nemesis. It's like, that makes no sense. But Cleveland right now is in a good spot where they're starting to hit their stride a little bit. The weather's warmed up.
Yep.
And you've got the Nationals who have allowed home run derby to extent, but they've got an offense of their own coming to town just after and on Memorial Day through the next couple of days. And then one of the more weird schedule quirks in baseball, just in the first 2 months plus, Cleveland's first Monday off day is going to be on June 1st.
Yep.
They have not had a Monday off once from March, April, and through this month. They've got one more day off. I think it this Thursday or next Thursday, one of the two. And then they finally get into a bit of a, them, Toronto, and I think it was Houston drew the short straws in the American League, 6 days off. The National League, I didn't, at least scheduled wise, there was 7 days off for at least every team scheduled. But now you get a chance to really, if you can win, tonight, and dare I even say tomorrow in Detroit, you really have a chance to put some hurt, not only on sinking Detroit's hopes, but I thought the White Sox could be sneaky good. I did not expect them to be second in the division right now.
Right.
I expect that to be the Royals or the Tigers still. White Sox have a better version of Joey Gallo with Colson Montgomery playing shortstop.
Yep.
The Southside Samurai, that's not sustainable. If you gotta hit more than home runs, man, you gotta.
Yeah.
They've got some really good pitchers, some that I think could even rival a couple of Cleveland's guys. It's like, I would not dismiss them, especially when you have to play them. It's like, that is going to be a tougher series than people think.
Someone told me watching the Southside Samurai was like watching Travis was it Travis when he played for Cleveland, where it's like it's either gonna be a strikeout or a 420-foot bomb. There's no in between.
I guess we had prom there, and there was signage out there at one point too, man.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, remember when Brian Travis came, was on the team, and it was either a home run or a strikeout. There was nothing else in there. Yeah, that's what this guy reminds me of.
Late June, you're going to be on the road.
Yeah.
At least, at least right now, though, you have a good chance to, make some cushion. In the whole American League just been out of whack with
it. It really has.
It's going to even out at some point, but right now, what's the thing that stood out to you both, just in terms of what's impressed you the most? If you have one thing for Cleveland, and then what's the one thing where you're like, I'm hitting the panic button already?
Drew, go ahead and go first, because I still got to think about this.
So I would say the thing that's most impressive right now is Angel Martinez. The way that this man has stepped up massively, and he's looking like Jose's little brother, and he's hitting the ball extremely well. He's playing, obviously, we know he plays good defense. Just the fact that he's been able to consistently hit the baseball very well this year, and you saw glimpses of it last season. But now that he's getting more ABs, I think he's tied for the most home runs on the team with 8 or 9.
I think he's got the lead.
Or he's either got the lead or he's tied. Because I don't know if Jose's at 7, and then I think Angel's at 8 or 9.
I'm looking right. Yeah, I think he's got 9. Jose's got 8.
Jose's got 8, okay.
And then DeLauder's got 7.
Rocchio's
got 4.
That's impressive in itself.
He's getting hot too.
But yeah, and you could add Rocchio into the mix of Angel Martinez. Both of them are hitting the ball extremely well. Rocchio's this is what you wanted to see from Rocchio, is a consistent hitter, because he's really elite defensively. It's just, can he hit the baseball?
I just hammered him to death being Rocchio last year until I realized they were about to sabotage the kid and they optioned him. It's like, okay, let's have a restart here.
Yeah.
He's been a completely different player since they brought him up. First game in July against the Cubs. It's like, thank freaking God. They finally got the version that they were looking for, because they were extremely high on Rocchio for the longest time. And now that you're starting to have a lot of these guys matriculate into the upper part of the farm system, you can have a good conversation of, does Rocchio stay here for the long term? Because one of those guys who isn't is probably going to be Gabriel Arias at this point, because I'm starting to wonder, based off of what I saw a little Justin Lotta tweet before his account got locked down for whatever reason. It's like they were saying he was a spam bot. Like, he is like the one guy that they've really fast tracked compared to any of the other high schoolers they've drafted in recent years. And that caught my attention. I really didn't think that, especially with an upcoming CBA negotiation, you get too many of the hitters. You might get Cal Steven on the pitching side, your 2.0 Bieber, but it's becoming a bit of a problem now to think of where to play some of these guys. So what do you do with the trade deadline? Because you have needs to address. You need another back end arm at least. You can always use more rotation depth. You could always use another bat, but what is it that makes sense without disrupting the clubhouse chemistry?
Yeah. And then what I wanted to say for my freaking out panic button boop 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 is Stephen Kwan. Now, I know ever since he's moved down to the 6th hole, he's been batting a little bit better.
He's been 7th, I think, the last couple games.
Yeah, 7th. Yeah, he's been that 6th, 7th slot, and I think he's been hitting the ball better. He's been walking more. I think he walked today already, and it's his 7th consecutive game with a walk, which he's 2 away from tying with Carlos Santana in 2020, when Santana had 9 consecutive games with a walk. So you could kind of see that Kwan is having a breath of fresh air from being the leadoff hitter, moving down to that 6, 7 spot. I think it's what he needed, just to kind of refresh and recharge and restart himself.
I don't think he's going to be here for the long term, though.
I don't think he's going to be. I don't think so either.
You could ship him out this trade deadline under the right circumstances. You're not going to get the Guardians weren't going to get a valuable package. His offense is unsustainable. You see why now. He basically has still been rolling over a little bit. I mean, he's doing better. There's less pressure on him lower in the lineup. But right now, the best comp for him is Kevin Kiermaier. Great glove. Kiermaier, I think, retired after last year, at least getting a World Series ring with the Dodgers, maybe 2 years ago at this point. But Kwan will be in the league at least 10 years, give or take. But he's not going to get the payday he could have if he had, just not been as stubborn. Because really, maybe he made out, somewhat decently, at least the first couple years of, first year and a half of arbitration. But who's going to pay him, to be a declining offensive bat? There's not that many teams out there that can afford it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been my panic button guy all year. It's just okay, he doesn't even get off to a hot start. It's okay, we're automatically hitting the boop.
Yeah,
boop,
that's
boop, boop.
All right, go for it.
So I will say, at least for my surprise, I think the easiest one is Parker Messick has just been incredible. I know he's kind of, gotten back down to earth a little bit, but he's still been
he's still been a bulldog.
Yeah, he's still been great. And the fact that he's able to sort of be that 4th or 5th guy in the rotation, that's a very good guy to have. And you still have guys Cantillo. Bibey's starting to come around.
It's not that he's starting to. If you take out the Atlanta start, he has an under 3 ERA.
Right. He's just not gotten run support. That's his thing. He's becoming the new Bieber or even Kluber that would just never get run support.
5 runs, 6 starts at Progressive Field, and he's basically gotten no run support and 0 or 1 in every one of them. Yeah. And that's what's so frustrating is for a guy like that, you need to, again, it's nothing that the team hates him. It's just, I don't know what it is psychologically that, whatever reason, when they try out the lineup that goes with Bybee, why is it that they can't hit? Because if they could at least, string together a couple of nice, I'm not saying they have to hit 5 runs while he's out there, but like 3 runs, 4 runs, at least give him some cushion.
Mhm.
That would be a massive confidence booster. And I think people's, in the wider sphere of things would have a lot more, positive vibe around, Tanner Bybee. I'm not saying he's your ace. He's I mean, look at Aaron Nola's first contract for folks who may be watching this on delay or watching this later. The fact that you got Bybee on a very similarly structured deal, it's very team friendly. That is, if you can get anything close to the value that the Phillies got out of Aaron Nola's initial extension way back when, that is a major win for this organization that's been hesitant to extend some of its starting pitching or has come extremely close in the last 5 or 6 years to a couple. But for whatever reason, be it external factors or not, stuff just stopped just short of the finish line and they ended up dodging a couple of bullets.
Mm-hmm. And then I guess to get back to mine too, I would say by panic. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot of panic around the team. I still have a little bit of questions about the bullpen and their ability to be a little more consistent because there's still some more time that you want to spend with Kate Smith. It sort of being, the closer if they decide that they want to bring somebody up and from the minors, which I'm sure isn't an option.
Like the last, was it after the first couple of outings, he's been absolutely just a stud.
Right. So he's getting better for sure. And like that's why I'm like, it's not like a huge concern, but I do remember early on, like it was a little rough for him. He was obviously getting used to it. And it just takes some time. I guess the only other panic is Slade.
Middle of last year when everything hit the fan.
Yeah.
And also it's like you can only do so much. I mean, the month of May, he's had 7 at least appearances. He's allowed 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk to 14 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Like he has done amazingly well.
Yeah.
I mean, again, he's only given up 1 earned run in May. He gave up a couple, 7 earned runs, 8 total runs. Just through the regular season so far. He has not entered the game as of yet. And he gave up, 16 hits before the month of May? I mean, sometimes it takes guys a little time to settle down. And I don't think going from Arizona to Seattle to LA and then, where was it? And then you finally come back home after, a 10-game or whatever it was, road trip or however long it was. It's like that's a tough thing to do where you're going through all these various weather changes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the only other concern I would have right now, at least, is Slade. I know he's getting a little bit better, but Slade started off very rough at the start. I know he was not doing the best. So hopefully he can kind of get back into things. But I also don't see the starting 5 being the starting 5 that sort of ends the year. Because I do imagine there's going to be some
guy who goes to the bullpen, to be honest. Because it just feels like you can leverage him really well back there.
I think so too.
Almost Andrew. I'm not Andrew Miller because his fastball doesn't quite play up to that same level. But you guys might get what I'm going for. Maybe more of an Allen/Brad Hand.
Yeah.
So I mean, other than that, I mean, I think the Guards are in a pretty good spot right now. I mean, it's still very early in the season, so that's why I'm like. For me, like I never really start to worry about stuff until we're getting a little bit closer to that sort of all-star break where you're getting into July and you're like, okay, like, you got about another, 2 or 3 months before the playoffs start and you really want to get your stride going there. That's when I start to worry if you're really showing some true struggles or not.
Yeah. My main worry, I guess, for this team is if they feel like they're, in contention and they can really make a run.
Yeah.
I'm worried about them accidentally just pearl clutching onto some of the prospects a little too closely. Like I feel like their system's far better than the system that people's like, oh, trade all these infielders. Well, they weren't that great for the most part. But you got a lot in terms of quality bats Engel might honestly be your guy that you could be your Francisco Mejia that you dingle out, you dangle out there and you get a Miller type. Funny thing about Mejia, and I might have mentioned this to you boys, at least indirectly or directly, because Jonathan LaCroix nixed that trade 10 years ago, Mejia helped you land Brad Hand. But in that deal that would have sent 4 guys to Milwaukee, Sean Armstrong was in that deal. He's back on the roster now. Greg Allen landed you 3 multiple pieces from San Diego along with a few others in that Mike Clevenger deal.
Yep.
Austin Hedges, Joey Cantillo, Ronald Gabriel Arias, and then you flip Josh Naylor eventually for Slade Ciccone. Your 15% of your roster came from that one Knicks trade when you look at it.
Yep. It was a good trade.
Well, a good non-trade in one way.
Yeah, definitely for one.
Oh gosh, how could I have forgotten this one?
Ooh.
Bo Naylor has been a serious, man, I was really rooting for you, but we did have those early conversations, especially last year about, hey, does he have the ability to kind of be the leader behind the plate to really give the pitchers confidence? And I don't know, man, between his offense, and it seems like guys like Hedges over him 9 times out of 10. It's
there are guys who like him, they love him in that clubhouse. It's
right.
Just, sometimes things don't work out. You need to change the scenery. I don't know how the organization is going to go about their future catching plans outside of Patrick, who's under control through at least 2030. Because I'm assuming Hedges will be retired by that point at the very start of next decade. But who knows? Maybe he'll surprise us. I'm trying to remember who that career backup was. I don't think it was Yachty's brother, but who was it that would just bounce around to all these different teams at the end of his career and just was the best backup you could ask for, just defensively mentor young guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what your catcher situation is going to look like, because one of the people who we all forget in all of this is Jacob Cozart. He was your second rounder, I'm pretty sure, in 24, same class as Bazana. They like him a lot, and he's got a lot of good attributes too. I think he's right now at AA Akron.
But then you got Engel as well in AAA and Columbus. I mean, Columbus has
if you championships last forever. Look at the Nationals, right, from a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
Look at them. I bet they are not regretting that Strasburg extension as much as we all think they might be. They're not regretting that Patrick Corbin deal as much as we all think they could have been. They got the World Series before Lerner passed away. And that's the main thing here, is that can you go and get a guy who's going to be a difference maker and go and make that World Series push? Because now it could be really wide open.
Yeah. I mean, it really is too. And especially with how not only the division is currently, but also how the AL is in general. There could be a case for this Guards team to actually make their push this year confidently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there is still, I mean, again, with Engel, I would even say Columbus in general, they have several guys that could probably come up and play some, some games and actually contribute. But
we'll probably not trade for sure. And this was just a list I was throwing out there, like Huff, Churio, the younger brother of Jackson, all those guys. The only guy who it's just a gut hunch for me that I don't think they'll trade is Alphonse and Rosario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Folks, you know who gave him up? You know who he was giving up for? It was for Eli Morgan.
Yeah, that's right. It was Eli Morgan. I forgot about that.
Keep complaining about Junior Caminero and the Rays. Let me just say this. If Rosario pans out in Cleveland and you got him for frickin' Eli Morgan, I don't want to hear another bleeping crap about the Caminero trade. Especially, and you guys knew this, I was heated under the collar when Major League Baseball was suddenly leaning into this narrative of Caminero was like, I wanted to be here my whole career. It's like, what kind of malarkey bullshit was that?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes baseball is weird. Like Yordan Alvarez was traded for Josh Fields back in 2016.
Wow.
As the Dodgers are trying to make a push. Imagine Alvarez if he's somehow stuck in LA. Holy shit. Like baseball sometimes got unfair trades. Now Tampa's a different beast. They know how to scout their guys, but on the whole, every organization has a guy that they're always going to lose sleep over after they lost them. And I have to imagine that right now the Blue Jays are probably thinking that with Cal Steven, because I can never go to bed at night without
that's your boy.
Pyro and Ross Atkins have to be gritting their teeth remembering that trade deadline last year.
Yeah.
Because they've gotten little out of Bieber this year. Nothing out of him, rather.
Yeah. It's going to be unique. And that's the thing where it's like, I don't know, I guess to end this before we get off, obviously we saw Bazana come up the way that he did as soon as he did. I was a little surprised that they brought him up when they did, but
I thought Engel was going to beat him to the punch, but I was very happy to see Bazana was the one. I really was.
Do you think anybody else is going to be in the running at some point this year? Like, is there any holes you think they'll
I think Ralphie may have entered the conversation with him moving up to AAA. They've been really fast tracking him. And again, to Justin Lauda's point, hat tip to him on that. I didn't realize, just how young he is. I don't think you're going to get Angel Janau this year. Maybe you get him in a DeLauder type promotion for just the postseason, but I don't think he's on your 40-man roster yet. So that might be out of the question in terms of him coming up. But right now, the game's got 3 more innings to go. You got 3-3 tie ball game up in Detroit.
Yep.
And, you got a lot of baseball left. There's I'm just double checking how many games the Guardians have. Today's their 50th game. So they've got 112 games left. So, folks, don't freak out.
Right.
There's a lot of freak out every here and there, but don't freak out yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, man. That's why I say I don't really get too high or too low with the Guardians this early. Plus, I'm obviously so locked in on the Cavs at this point that like I can't really even get my attention anywhere else right now. Like it's just like when the draft was going on, like that was the only thing that I was really like honing in on, and I was like, man, like I feel bad, like we're not really talking about the Guardians, and like they're winning and they're doing good stuff, but I'm like, shit, man, like the draft's gonna come up, and then now you got the Cavs in the playoffs going on a run. They're like up 8-2 right now, so
it's like for those of you who've listened to my podcast in the past, or maybe you are a listener, I've been on the IL with a little health thing, so I've not been able to confidently podcast. I'm hoping to again. How do I put it like this? The Browns have done nothing to earn your loyalty. I've said this to Drew. I've said this to Zach. I'm not planning to talk about them that much on my podcast, especially outside of maybe 1 or 2 NFL stories. It's like, let's have baseball take its proper place. The NFL can come after Labor Day. It can come once baseball's all wrapped up. But if you're expecting the Browns to go to Super Bowl, it's like, let's start changing the narrative, because it's time to really just look ahead to a different kind of season, and that's October baseball.
Yeah, I got the Browns going undefeated Super Bowl. So
if that happens before the final whistle, hell will freeze over and we'll all be dead.
Yeah, we will all be dead. Yeah.
I mean, dude, we thought 2020 the world, the world was going to end with how good we played that year.
Yeah, here's what I think will happen though if they make it to the conference championship game again, in any time in the next however many years it might be, I'd say about a quarter of the city of Cleveland gets burned to the ground.
Yeah,
100%. If they win the Super Bowl, half of whatever is remaining of the city of Cleveland is just wrecked to beyond.
We've
we've always confidently like agreed that like, dude, if we ever do win a Super Bowl, there will be a physical crater in some part of Cleveland.
Well,
Like,
from
at least half of Cleveland will be wiped out if they win the whole gosh darn thing.
well, they already had the what is it, the sinkhole on St. Clair and West Sixth Street or whatever it was.
well, like you just gotta think about like all of the fireworks and all of the just the craziness that would happen in downtown. Like, good God,
it would put
dude.
Philly to shame.
We'll just put the parade. We'll put the parade down in Akron because Akron's already in a terrible place. So you might as well just burn that city to the ground.
Oh, come on, low blow.
No, what
Even
you
though I'm a
need-
Kent State guy, come on.
I'm from Akron. I can talk shit about it.
he's from Akron.
Okay, I forgot
He's
about
from
that
Akron.
factor.
I'm
Listen,
from Akron.
man.
Listen,
Because Zach and I are the Kent State guys at the very least.
I'm the Akron guy.
Yeah.
If anything, if you really want to have a safe parade, just put it in like the middle of just absolutely nowhere where there's just nothing but fields and
So
there's plenty of
Brimfield.
that in there's plenty of that in Ohio. There's
You
plenty of that in
probably
Portage
put them
County.
Awesome. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah.
Party in Amish country, baby.
Oh boy,
Man. Well,
I
guys,
don't know. That could get dicey with some of the players on this team.
Yeah.
You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. Well, guys, that is pretty much going to do it for us. But before we get off, I do want Sean to go ahead and shout out anything that he would like to get out there. You know, what have you been sort of getting into as of late?
Yeah, hopefully going to get back into the podcast game coming up sooner or later. I've been on the IL with a little health thing. You can also follow me, especially it goes up on Spotify. You want to get notified. Sometimes I'll post the episode early at Fits on Sports BSR. Also on Fridays in the mornings, 9:00 in the morning, I have a weekly spot on WOBL/WDLW, Lorain County Radio. You'll hear me with Dave Rivera, 9:00 in the morning. You can either tune in on the radio dial or you can listen online, stream us online. Takes up about 10 minutes of your morning. Just try to keep you as informed as we possibly can. So if you're someone who wants some more baseball talk, you want to hear a little bit more of my voice, not that you don't want to hear more of theirs. Come on. You guys know I had to go there. I'm going every Friday morning, 9:00. Tune into WOBL, WDLW, Lorain County Radio. Me, Dave Rivera. It's fun time.
Heck yeah. And then before we get off, Drew, we totally forgot to shout out the sponsor.
Yeah, just really quick, guys. Check out our sponsor, Effortless Wins, for sports betting advice and plays to boost your wins. Talk to Tony or Greg. The links will be in the description. Code just BS26 for the discount. Forgot to shout them out in the beginning. We were just trying to get everything.
My bad, guys. My bad.
All good.
Greg. Sorry, Greg. Hopefully
Sorry, guys.
Still get some sales this week. We've been trying to do it at the beginning because it's obviously everybody's going to hear it at the first 5 minutes compared to we're 57 minutes in. I doubt somebody's going to be here, so it's probably going to be a rough one for this week. But
that's okay.
If you guys are still tuning in at this point, they are the guys. You guys have been hearing it from us both. They're really, really good. They know what they're doing, especially when it comes to baseball. They're very top notch on baseball.
Great baseball better.
Yeah. Greg is excellent. He's on. I mean, they're both on daily. Like their Discord constantly is going up with player lineups, scratches, just everything that you could possibly think of. They have channels for. So they are always on there 24/7. So make sure to check them out if you want to increase your sports betting and take it to the next level. So with that said, we hope you guys have a wonderful and safe night. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, since that is going to come up as well. So enjoy that. Please do not blow off any fingers, shooting off any fireworks. I know we're not in July 4th yet, but people still like to shoot off some fireworks in Memorial Day as well.
Safely. I would like to not end up heading into my birthday week.
Please drive safely. No drinking and driving.
Yeah.
You won't find me with any booze in my system. If there is, someone would have had to have tampered with me.
If you do drink, stay home.
Right.
Yes, please. Right. Please, let's just keep things safe and tidy this Memorial Day.
So guys, we hope that you have a wonderful, safe weekend, and we will see you guys next week with hopefully maybe a playoff lead for the Cavs. Question marks there. You never know. See you guys then.